I'd just like to highlight two immediate notable APAC market impacts from the election. And the first being that the U.S. is far less likely to get a large fiscal stimulus package passed, which will slow the U.S. recovery and perhaps shave off a bit of the positive economic momentum in Asia's export-oriented countries. And then the second being that it will be near impossible for a Biden White House to push through bold policies such as higher corporate taxes. And so I think that both U.S. and APAC stocks should rise in this environment as fears of a Democrat sweep and a hotly contested election fade away. And then to your point about perhaps a reset in U.S.-China relations, I think there is a fair chance that that will happen. And in fact, I think that a Biden White House will be favorable to APEC equity markets because we can expect an easing in at least the daily tit for tat, the geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and China. And so although we don't expect a complete 180 in the relations, I think that at least the headline risks will dissipate for the time being, which should translate into positives in greater China markets.
Okay, hence that's why you remain very positive on China equities and you're overweight. Where do you see the yuan heading in 2021, end of this year to 2021?
The biggest component to where the yuan is going will be tied to the economic growth for China. And we expect China's economic rebound to only strengthen, and as exemplified by the most recent export growth in October, which increased 11.4%, blowing away consensus expectations. Secondly, I would say that the yuan would also strengthen into 2021 because of a less volatile U.S.-China relation. And thirdly, investment flows into Chinese onshore bonds due to the index inclusion is also supporting demand for CNY.
David, I do wonder if the authorities have their limits, though. I mean, when you talk about further strength, can you give us an idea to what level? Because already today we're seeing the midpoint at a 28-month high in terms of what's happening in the trading day as well. I mean, we're below that 6.6 marker. So where do we go in terms of specific levels?
Sure. So I think that the RMB is a managed currency, and so policymakers in China are looking at all the potential risks that affect the currency. And one of those risks for the U.S. presidential election. And so with that out of the way, I think that a new calculus will be made in Beijing to kind of suss out what is a more comfortable level policymakers have for the RMB. But I see that the RMB will perhaps be range bound in the near term, but also strengthen in 2021.